Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Alexander Bykovsky. I'm the Director of Business Development for New York for the Doctors Company. I also run a small cryptocurrency fund called Veduta AI. I basically my story begin. I'll begin my story about two years ago. I unfortunately was crossing the street and got hit by a car. I spent about a month in the hospital. 20 of those days where I was bedbound. So I had a lot of time to think, assess. At that point, I had spent 15 years in exotic valuation and private equity, working specifically with oncology and autoimmune mechanisms, and essentially funding those companies. And it had been a career with a lot of triumphs. We got a lot of companies funded. We even brought some drugs to market, as well as failures. We had a lot of companies that went bust as well. But overall, it was a good platform to affect change. So lying there, I was thinking, how can I be more effective? How can I refine my process so that I can do the most good? Because I just have this innate need it drives me. It gets me up in the morning. So my father had been in the medical malpractice industry for about the last 35 years. It's actually something I was running from because I never wanted to be in the family business. But lo and behold, I actually wound up being fairly good at it. So I was tapped by a good friend of the family, he asked that I apply for this position because he thought I was a good fit. So I applied for the position, went through the whole interview round, and I got the directorship. Um, what I've been enacting since I've gotten there are very basic things. The insurance industry, while having fantastic technology, is sometimes very siloed in the way that they deploy it. So actuarial, the department that basically does all the studies and sets the models and the rates, has a lot of firepower, while sometimes the rest of the organization is left wanting. That being said, modernization is hitting everybody very quickly, and there's a lot of initiatives, many of which that even as my short time as director in the Doctors Company, that I have helped craft. And it's just very simple things like just time saving processes where we can where we can just cut out some extra steps, or things like just for data validity, have less contact with the actual data sets while still being able to vignette them and manipulate them with tools. Um, that being said, I mean, there is a lot of room for building and improvement, especially in the spaces of AI and ML. And we're not talking about anything that's all that complicated. Even something as simple as a textual scraper could yield massive benefits for any company that's involved in the risk business. They basically have to hold a treasure trove of information in order for them to do their basic business. So it's just a very natural market, I would say, or area that ML and AI can easily be used at scale. So that's one of the areas that I've been concentrating on, probably for about the past 3 or 4 years. Another one has been that's a little bit more near and dear to me is Veduta AI, and the economic mechanism design that we're doing there. We're basically working on large scale cash flows in order to optimize them on a macro level. So We've basically been working on the application phase of this for the last year and a half, and we should be coming out with a rather a proof of concept, probably within the next 6 months. What's interesting about the mechanism is it basically just makes bidding more efficient in a nutshell. It does use a little bit of fancy math. It does use a lot of the knowledge that I have gathered and my partner Mark Ramos have gathered through our through our research and our travels through finance and currency markets. Um, at this in order to leverage some of this very simple, again, AI and machine learning to to produce a valid result or alpha um, for that. So basically, again, since the crash, I've been keeping very busy between the two projects that I have going. Although I've definitely been concentrating on the doctor's company, throughout the day, and that's definitely more in focus at this point, simply because it's more of a platform for me to actually affect change. So, with an organization of that size, although there is inertia, they are they've opened the door to modernization, and they've supported and started a lot of initiatives in order to move in that direction. So it's very positive in that way, and there's quite a bit of people involved in that. So that's I like to go where I'm needed. I like to say, but yeah. So my name is Alex Bykovsky, and thank you.